Hello and thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of the program. It's Sport Pizza, of course, is the biggest, the boldest, and where you get the absolute best in the ever exciting world of sport. My name is Brownson Uwana, your host, and I must tell you that the program today is well loaded for your viewing pleasure. Now, road to Qatar. Today on the program, we're looking at Group A, where the host nation will be playing in. Also, looking at some other teams, their rankings, and of course, their chance of qualifying from the group. Also, maybe just for laughs, Ellen Allen, the petition online, claimed that he's a robot and should be taken away from Premier League. Is it real? Is that for laughs? We'll just delve a little into that today. Now, the Premier League table is absolutely buzzing. Manchester City winning for fun. Arsenal showing some bragging rights. Lots of respect he must give to the Gunners this year. And it's same of the same in other top leagues in Europe. But in Spain, FC Barcelona showing that they've got all it takes to sit top of the table. How long will this last? Time will tell. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll serve you all the details. Don't go away. The greatest football showpiece lands in Qatar as 32 teams slug it out or become the next world champion.
The World Cup is a platform where gladiators meet for bragging rights.
Now talking about bragging rights, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Robert Lewandowski. Now how can I forget Kylian Mbappe, top players to look out for.
Will the Egyptian be able to make it happen for France this time around? How about Roberto Martinez from Belgium? Not forgetting, from the African continent, our new season from Senegal.
Catch all the analysis
right here on Sport Pizza.
Welcome back. Now let's take you to the pick of the action. My strike partner, Kule Philip, joins me at this time. Kule, good to have the program today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brownson. It's great to be here. I had a very wonderful weekend rather, because a lot of things happened, and I'm so happy that some of the teams actually won. Like in the domestic scene, the Nigerian league teams in the continent were very good, and Arsenal also still continuing their rich vein of form to get all important 3 points against Liverpool. I think it was really very good. All
right, very good one. But let's start with road to Qatar, and it's just few days away to when I say few days, a few weeks away to the kickoff of the biggest football showpiece in the world. That's the FIFA World Cup. Qatar is the destination, and of course, we'll be seeing lots of teams vying for a chance to become who becomes the world best team in the world. Now, today on the program, we'll be doing some analysis and examine the chances of some of these teams in Group A. Now, in Group A, we have Netherlands, who have never won the World Cup before. And of course, we have Senegal, African representative, who is still yet to record their first World Cup title. We also have Ecuador, who is still yet to record their World Cup title. And of course, host nations, Qatar, still yet, if Netherlands haven't won, due respect to Qatar. We're going to enjoy your stay here, by the way. Kule Philip, let's look at Group A. Looks like we've got our work cut out now. I must warn some top teams. If you think Qatar just built some of those state-of-the-art facilities for people to come and enjoy, they might just get a shock of their life.
Yeah, they might get a shock of their life, but if performance is anything to go by, then you shouldn't expect much from Qatar. From friendly games they've been playing, they've been losing scandalously, and one of the friendly games they played, I think weeks ago, or almost over a month ago, was against Azerbaijan, where they couldn't win. The game ended in a draw, and they've lost heavily against some teams like Portugal. So I think that they really have to up their game if they really feel that, if they really want to do well in this tournament. The last time, I think the only country that could not go beyond the first round as far as the World Cup is concerned since the inception of World Cup is South Africa in 2010, where they couldn't get beyond.
That's the host. Being the host, they haven't got past first round.
Yeah, the host nation not being able to get past the first round. Go beyond the first round. It has to be South Africa. We hope that Qatar will be able to get beyond the first round. But looking at the teams that we have in that group, you look at the FIFA ranking, you look at performances, then you really want to say that Qatar doesn't really stand a chance.
All right, now talking about rankings, before we look at the chances, Now, the top-ranked team in Group A is Netherlands. They are ranked 8th according to the latest FIFA rankings. Now, Senegal sits on the 18th position as far as that ranking is concerned, and that's the second best team in Group A. Now, we also have Ecuador, who sits on the 44th position in the rankings. Now, of course, the host nations, Qatar, who, I mean, in my opinion, might spring up some surprises, are ranked 50th in the 50th best team in the world. Now, Kunle, let's look at Netherlands. What are their chances of progressing from this group?
Yeah, it's a team that has what it is. They've got the players, they've got a very sound coach, a vastly experienced coach in Louis van Gaal. And then when you look at the country, Netherlands, they've been to the World Cup final on 3 different occasions. In 1974, they lost to West Germany by 2-1. The team led by Johan Cruyff. They had very good chance of winning that match, but they pressed the West Germany team, but unfortunately they couldn't get the desired goal. In 1978, it was a different ballgame entirely against a well-versatile Argentine national team who took them to the cleaners, winning by 3-1. And in 2010, they've got a very fantastic team. Free-flowing football was on display. Great soccer history. But against a very organized Spanish national team, they couldn't go past them. So I think that when we look at the ranking, they are 8th, far above the other teams. When you look at the gap, the ranking, in terms of even players, personnel at each country's disposal, the the Netherlands team has it more abundantly above the other team. So I think that we were looking at, though you take a game, one game at a time, but when you look at what the the Netherlands team has done in the past, and the kind of players they have at their disposal, and from the friendly games they've also played, they've not done badly. So I think that the Netherlands team will go beyond, will progress beyond this group, because they are the favourites to progress, and I see them going far in the World Cup.
Going far in the group is relative, but for a team like Netherlands who have been in the finals before, you want to say going far for them should be at least getting to the finals. But we have to look at other teams, other group, and then put our permutations together. But Senegal, for me, they've been very fantastic in Africa. They need to take this form to the World Cup.
Yeah, they need to take the form to the World Cup. They've got what it takes. They are the African champion. The undisputed. They've really been massive for the continent, and of course for their country. They've been doing very well. They've got players scattered around Europe. The talisman has to be Sadio Mane, who is one of the most ranked player in the world of football as we speak. And they've got a very sound coach as well, in person of Aliou Cisse, who knows his onion. He knows what to do at every particular point in time. Let's wait to see how he's able to transform that into prosecuting and of course getting games, getting the job done at the World Cup. The best performance for Senegal has to be in 2002 FIFA World Cup, where they got to the quarterfinal and they presented a very formidable team, with players like Khalilou Fadiga, El Hadji Diouf, and others. And then, I looked at the year 2022, and presently the kind of players they have more now are even more influential. They are more dominant in Europe than even in the year 2002. So I see them qualifying from this group. When you look at the Netherlands team, the Orange Gang are ranked above them, in ranking and in terms of achievements at the World Cup. But then after the Orange team, you have to give it to the Teranga Lions of Senegal. So I think it's going to be Senegal qualifying from out of this group alongside the Netherlands national team. All
right, according to Kule, Ecuador and Qatar, I want to say, are doing official cameo in the World Cup.
Yeah, Ecuador can spring surprises, but really against Senegal, I don't see that happening against Senegal and the Netherlands team.
All right, that's how far we can go on our road to Qatar this week. Next week, of course, join us for as we analyze the next group, and of course looking at the chances of this group getting to the next round. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back, more stories to come. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. Now let's come back home and talk about the CAF Champions League that went down last week. Now some Nigerian representatives, the likes of Rivers United and Plateau United, put up a very good performance, even though it was a narrow win, but it was good enough at least to get those victory. But how far can this team go in the tournament? Only time will tell. We saw Nigerian teams last week. Will I say make us proud? But I think they did, in my opinion, they did just enough on the day.
Brownsing, they did the nation proud, no doubt about that. I remember some couple of years ago where I watched MFM take on a team from Tunisia, a club side from Tunisia, right here in Lagos. They won by 2-1. They return leg. They put pressure. They threaten you. I spoke with the coach, Kamara, I think some days after that game, because they lost. MFM lost scandalously by, I think it was 6-1. And I asked why. He said, "Bros, you didn't thank God for my life." Because the fans were hostile, even the officials and everything worked against them. So I think these guys, the management of this club, should be prepared for the worst in the reverse fixture. Yes, it's good that Rivers United won by 2-1, and Plateau United also won 2-1 against Esperance of Tunisia.
So you see that the margin is too small.
It's too small, bro. And the fact that they got a goal right here in Nigeria is a great. When you score a goal away from home, it's more or less like 2 goals for you, counted for you. So I think that which yes, they can swing surprises, but really, Bronson, let's really look beyond that. I'm not being pessimistic here, but what I've seen of the North Africans, when you win here, even when you win by 3-0, you have to go all out and play your utmost best in the best fixture. But losing by 2-1 here, they just need to score a goal. But then in the round, when you talk about the round leader game, anything can happen. In the CAF Confederations Cup, Aqua United won against Bekin of Morocco by 3-1. They were down by 1-0. They came back, got in 3 goals. That was absolutely massive. I think that's the only team I can say, yes, stands a very good chance to be best feature. But talking about the 2 teams, Rivers United and Plateau United, I really don't see them springing surprises in the reverse fixture. Well,
we have to wait for the next round, and possibly not is nothing in football, but when you play against a North African counterpart, I mean, you have to watch your back always. All the antics from the airport to the hotel room to the choice of hotel they give you.
Absolutely. Even the officials.
The officiating will tell the story. But that's what we get in Africa. But I mean, that's football here, and we enjoy the way it is. All right, let's move on and tell you that Nigeria and Kenya both qualify for the Under-19 ICC Division 1 World Cup qualifier in South Africa next year. The pair faced off in the ICC Division 2 final, a match that saw Kenya win by 11 runs. Fantastic. Now, both teams now join Sierra Leone, Tanzania, and Namibia for next year's Division 1 qualifiers. I must tell you that our cricket gradually, we are gaining ground, right? But yeah. I don't know how big, how far we can go. Now, sometimes, when I look at the way South African sport has been positioned and how their cricket, their basketball, their volleyball, their handball, their swimming, their athletics is growing. It saddens me sometimes. Now, we have to give kudos to the at least our Cricket Federation for participating in this age grade tournament. It doesn't matter for me. No pressure on this team. For me, it's the most important thing is the exposure they are getting, and we hope that they can grow into the national team and give us good representation in the future.
Yeah, it hasn't been this good, but I think, like you said, kudos should go to the Cricket Federation of Nigeria for putting the name Nigeria in the spotlight where you talk about cricket in the African continent. We hope that they will continue in that vein and, of course, put our name in the spotlight of teams that are doing well in cricket as far as the world is concerned. But like we said, the South Africans spend more in terms of organization. I think they have it above most African teams, aside probably the North Africans who also are well organized. You don't concentrate on just one sport. I was telling some of my Ghanaian friends some couple of months ago that, look, it's not all about football alone. Some countries just concentrate on some certain sports, and that's where they flourish. But it's always very very good when you also, pay attention to other sports, because you've got personnel who can also get the job done. The only challenge they've had, their federation always have is lack of funds. When you don't have funds to actually organize, friendly matches, prepare the teams ahead of competitions or ahead of qualifiers. When you pay attention mostly to football and probably to basketball, to athletics, and you allow other sports to suffer. We've got,
for instance, if you look at rugby, look at what South Africa is doing with their rugby team. They went on to win the World Cup.
Yeah,
they're the world champions.
I think they are called the Boaters. Are they called the Boaters?
No, not the Boaters. I can't remember their name right now.
But
okay, mean the cricket team. I was talking about rugby. The rugby team.
Well, we won the rugby, the West African rugby competition just, I think, about a fortnight ago. We won the Ghanaians by as many as 40 something. The margin was very wide. So I can tell you that when you talk about rugby, Nigeria is beginning to our name is beginning to fly very high in the African continent. We hope that will also translate to.
All right, we can only hope so, and see how we do well in other sports. I mean, the sport minister really have to do more in helping our sport to develop. I mean, back those days when we talk about swimming, we always get medals, but right now we've left swimming.
Even in lawn tennis, we
table
have
tennis and the likes,
tennis,
but other things have really nosedive. But I mean, we can always get this back up again. Now let's move straight to Europe and tell you that Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 700th career goal for club. I mean, it was a fantastic game to behold as Arsenal, as Manchester United, I beg your pardon, were 2-1 better than Everton away from home. And of course, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring his 700th goal for club. Now, before I look at different goals and the amount he scored for different club sides, how would you rate Ronaldo's performance so far? 37-year-old, 700 career goals so far for club. And do you think he's got more left inside of him?
Yeah, he's got more left. Like he said, I think he came out to say he's going to stop playing when he's tired, when his foot is not able to carry him on any longer. And looking at the way he played even against Everton, I think that he did very well. He still runs very well. For a man of 37 years, you expect his speed to dwindle. I remember when Rooney was a known striker, he runs very well. But at the point in time when he began to, I think at the age of, when he got to 30, it started slowing down. Started slowing down, and they started playing him as a supporting striker. At the point in time, he can even play as a midfielder. But if this is not the case with Cristiano Ronaldo, he still got the speed, he still got that acceleration, and it's at this age, at the age of 37, still breaking records. 700 career goals, absolutely fantastic, absolutely massive. And for the fact that the team were able to bounce back from that disastrous loss against Manchester City, I think that that's a very fantastic one for Manchester United. And of course, for Cristiano Ronaldo, I think he won't just stop scoring.
And also not forgetting that Cristiano Ronaldo also holds the record for the most goals scored by a national team player. Of course, he eclipsed that one early this year.
Yeah,
so he holds the record for that. So if we put it, we should be talking about 800 plus career goals for both nations and club. Now let's look at where he started from. Sporting Lisbon, he played 31 games, scored 5 goals. 3 of those goals came from his right foot, and of course, 1 from his left foot and 1 header. That's for Sporting Lisbon. In Manchester United, for both his first and second coming combined together. Now he has played 340 games, 144 goals. Now out of those goals, 97 was scored by his right foot, 22 left foot, and of course 24 from his head. Now they have others, which means maybe from his chest, his butt. I don't know what that others mean, but he got 1 goal scored not from his leg and his both foot. Now in Real Madrid, he played 438 games, guys. Now listen to these stats: 438 games and scored 450 goals. That's wow. And of course, it scored 298 with his right foot, 81 from left, 70 headers and one from other parts of his body. Now, Juventus played 134 games. Ronaldo scored 101 goals. Now, 62 of those goals were from his right foot, 21 from, of course, his left, and 18 header. Fantastic record for Cristiano Ronaldo. Want to wish him the very best and hope that he continues to get in those goals. At this point, let's take a very quick break. When we come back, more stories to come. Don't go away. Welcome back to the last lap of the program. Now, let's give you what's happening in Europe. Top teams in Europe are doing very well. Now, most times we don't talk about the Turkish league. Last weekend, I saw a 9-goal thriller, and I mean, fantastic game of football. Football should be about scoring goals. That was what happened. Now, Fenerbahce and Fatih Karagümrük was fantastic. And there was no point at that game where the game became 3-1 or 4-2. It was score, I score, score, I score to the last minute. It was pulsating. I mean, it was go. You know, fantastic game of football. But I mean, that is for the Turkish league. Maybe sometime we should look at some of those other leagues that are not in the top 4. But thanks to the Conference League that helps us to see some of these teams and how they play. Now, in England, Arsenal are showing that they've got all it takes to remain top of the table as they put up a very fine show against Liverpool to sit top. Fantastic goal, even though there were lots of controversy in that game, some referee's decision, VAR controversy for penalty or not, but of course it went the way of Arsenal on the night. And beautiful game of football, I must say. Manchester City putting up a very good show, winning for fun, and it looks like right now in the league, Man City is a team to really be worried about, and of course Arsenal for putting up a fine show. But I was thinking in 2 weeks' time the both teams would play. Looks like that game won't be holding. Of course, we'll give you details of the postponement next week. But Kule, assessing the 2 top teams in England right now, who do you think will sleep?
Oh, wow, that's a very tough question. When you talk about experience, Manchester City have vastly more experience because the last time Arsenal has not won the Premiership in a very long time, you know, and the Manchester City.
Let me remind you, 1994.
1994.
That's about 28 years ago.
Yeah, that's a very long time, and the Manchester City are very familiar with the trophy. So yeah, and then when you look at the depth of both teams in terms of players, I think that slightly, after the factual, Manchester City have it slightly above Arsenal as we speak. So when you look at the 2 teams, one of the games that will determine how far both teams or which of the 2 teams might likely, though it's still early bet, but the both teams, Arsenal have really proven beyond reasonable doubts that they can go all the way. Yes. But against a Manchester City team, a very formidable Manchester City team, I really want to see a lot of pundits want to see how they are able to hold their own, because Manchester City are scoring goals. They've scored over double of.
As a matter of fact, Erling Haaland alone have scored more goals than most teams in the Premier League.
In the Premier League as we speak, so they've hit the double figure. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting watching the game involving Arsenal and Manchester City. But in terms of quality in depth, I want to give it to Manchester City. It's not really, it's not an easy thing for me to say. But in terms of quality, City have a slightly above.
So I think for me, both teams has to meet for us to know where it's going to go. I mean, if Arsenal survive that hurdle, I mean, you just might say it might be a wonder season for them.
Yeah, because I can't remember the last time Arsenal were able to beat Manchester City in the Premiership.
But they're in good form right now.
Yeah, they're in good form. Just the way they've struggled to beat Liverpool in a very long time. The last time, I really can't, I think it will be over 7-8 years.
So this might just be the season for Arsenal.
Arsenal were able to beat Liverpool by 3-2. So I think it's a very good time for Arsenal to play against Manchester City.
All right.
Then,
that's a dream.
We've got the Erling Haaland factor, you know, and then we also have that
is he a robot or not?
Come on, Brazil, that guy is a robot.
He's a robot.
He should be banned from playing in the Premier League. Yeah, because it makes it so easy. Getting in the goals, week in, week out, and the manner in which he scored the goals, always in the right position, always knowing where to place the ball. So I think it should be stopped from playing in the EPL.
All right, guys. Now that's just for laughs anyway. Now let's look at some big games we expect this weekend. Now time will not permit us to look at a lot of them, especially in England, where we have Liverpool taking on Manchester City. Now, if you look at Liverpool, Man City in the past seasons, Liverpool seems to have the antidote for everything City throws at them. But if you look at the way, if you look at the way Liverpool have played in the past weeks, you agree that it's not the same Liverpool we've seen in the past seasons.
Not the ways Liverpool, the same Liverpool we've seen in the past season. Struggling to, against Leeds United. I think it was Leeds United got 2 goals. They had to struggle to come back, and against Arsenal, they were not really that same Liverpool that we used to know. Though I think one of the Arsenal will really, the fans and everyone will, supporting Arsenal will heave the big sign of relief, because the major tormentor in chief of Arsenal, when they play against Liverpool, has always been Sadio Mane, and is no more with the team. So I think Liverpool is going to struggle massively against Manchester City. But then you really want to say that they're not going to go down easily. They're going to give a fight. But then when you look at both teams in terms of performance this season, I think Manchester City should do the needful.
All right, that's my final whistle on the program today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Now, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms currently displaying on your screen right now. Now, if you've been sending us email, I want to say a special thank you to you. Keep those emails coming. We read your messages and it makes us feel really good. Now, also go to our YouTube channel, it's Sport Pizza. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Brownson Wana. Enjoy the rest of the day.